Hi, my name is Paul Oakley Stovall, and you are listening to Brothers on Tennis.
Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? This is your boy Isaac.
And this is your boy Bryce.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. And folks, we've got a good one today for you. We are going to be interviewing, just someone that we know, someone that is a part of the Brothers on Tennis family. We are so excited to chop it up with him. He is someone that is very, very knowledgeable of the tennis game and just has an awesome background that we are so ready to chat it up about and share with you all out there. And Bryce, I know that you and my brother Paul have been chatting it up a good bit since we've actually started this podcast. And so, tell us a little bit about our guest today.
Sure. Well, listeners, from time to time, we like to bring, our listeners and our followers up on the show. Introduce them to you, allow you to hear another voice other than me and Isaac sitting here and running our mouths all the time. But you've probably heard us mention this guy by name when we've done some of our IG Live shows because he's typically peppering us up on the chat with comments that kind of keep us on our toes. But very excited to bring to you today one of our followers who, like Isaac said, is very impressive about his knowledge of the game, history of the game. We get a chance to learn how much he knows about the game. And also, we get an opportunity to learn a little bit about his life outside of tennis. He just also happens to be a very accomplished actor, writer, director, probably most recently known as playing the character of George Washington in the wildly popular production of Hamilton that is touring the nation. So before we bring him on, I do want to mention probably the most important thing that he actually does that you probably are not aware of. He serves as my personal binge television consultant and is performing miraculously in that position. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But with that, we'd like to bring up Mr. Paul Stovall. Paul, welcome to Brothers on Tennis.
Thank you so much for having me, letting me crash the family picnic. I am that second cousin once removed. I don't have proof that I'm a relative, but, y'all let me in anyway, so you know how it goes. I appreciate it.
Oh, that's all good, Paul. We are happy to have you, my brother. It is so good to talk with you and just looking forward to just getting into some of your background and, of course, talking this wonderful game of ours called tennis, man. So talk to us, man. How did you, first of all, come across Brothers on Tennis? How did our name get introduced to you?
I think it's just, and usually I'm not too thrilled about this, but I think in this case, the algorithm of social media and the internet did me a solid. I'm always talking about tennis, always watching tennis, always posting things about tennis. And you guys popped up on my IG as if I already had known you. And I said, whoa, who is this? What is this? Who is this? What is this? And I clicked on it on one of your live, I'll call them podcast. And I was hooked. So then I put it on my notifications, and every time you popped up, there I was. Then I got up the nerve to say a little something here and there,
And like I said in the intro, we'll be sitting here recording an IG Live, and one of your comments will come across the chat, and Isaac and I will look at each other, and we'll hold back laughing on whatever it is that you just said. And we're like, is he trying to throw us off?
Just trying to make my presence known. Just trying to make you know I'm listening.
Well, I'm going to tell you what comes through even when people are joking is really their knowledge.
Yes.
You can't joke about stuff that you don't know about.
That's right.
And one of the things that even Paul, you and I have not really talked a whole lot about yet is we wanted to learn about your background in tennis. Like, how did you get introduced to tennis? Were you just a spectator? When did you start playing? Give us that history.
Yeah, I was an athlete in school, and my grade school, we weren't in the hood per se, but we weren't in the wealthy white suburbs that had, the golf team and the tennis team kind of thing. So the summer league, the summer sort of park district thing where where parents want to keep their kids busy, there was tennis. And I was one of those kids that said, sign me up for everything. So I had, golf at 8 a.m., soccer at 10 a.m., and then tennis with this lady who lived down the street. Apparently she was a former tennis pro, and she wore the Wimbledon whites outfit when she coached the kids. So that made her look real to us. and looking back, I'm sure she was a very Chris Evert type consistency type player, and that's what she taught: discipline and consistency. And there was about 10 of us that started. I was about 11 years old, and on the second day there was only 2 of us, me and her son, who was very good too. It was just in his blood to play. And since I stuck with it, she stuck with it. And I ended up kind of getting private lessons that whole summer.
Wow.
And then, there was semi-private. But she, after I got to a certain level, she let her son Robbie she would just let us hit. So I accelerated faster because y'all know this, you play better when you have to hit up.
Right. Yeah. Right.
When he's coming at me with lobs and he consistent ball. So at a very young age, 11, 12, 13, when my mind was still developing, I realized how much tennis could help me as a person. So I was hooked from then on. And then, you only had 3 or 4 channels on the TV back then. So if there was a big tennis tournament on, I'd take over the house. But my dad was an athlete. My mom was a semi-athlete. So, they were into it.
Nice.
So tell us about your game. How is your game? Like, are you a net player?
Yeah,
you got big serve, consistent ground strokes?
I am 6'5", and I have, over the years, before I became 6'5", I was ground strokes, because that's what Miss Jeffries taught me. As I got bigger and my arms got longer and I became more like a rubber band, and I saw that how I could get that first serve in,
right.
I had a few people telling me, why are you hanging back on the baseline? And
Right.
why are you hitting that backhand with 2 hands?
Oh, nice.
Wow. But also when you're younger, if your forearm isn't strong enough, the one-handed backhand, you might hit one now and then, but it can be very frustrating to a teenager, and you just want to give up. So I stuck with the 2-handed for a while. Now I'm a serve and volley one-handed backhand.
Nice. Okay, Federer. We
right?
Yeah.
Fair though.
Right.
I mean, the technology prevents me from coming in on every ball, but I am like a Federer transition game. I'm always looking to come in. Period.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So how much are you playing these days, man? I mean, are you getting out there? Are you getting some singles in? Are you playing doubles?
I am so lucky. No doubles, but I on Hamilton before we shut down because of COVID, our tour was in Florida, and I stumbled onto can't think of the name of the country club, but we were playing in Naples and Fort Myers, and there's a country, Audubon or something, this country club right in between. And this man had come to see the show, and then we were talking afterwards, and I mentioned something, and it was Carlos Huerta from Ecuador, who I think his highest ranking was 49. He made it to as a pro, and now he's a teaching pro at this country club. He said, "Oh, come over, and I'll hit the ball with you." Because he didn't know what level I was going to hit. He let me hit 3 times a week. And then when the tour moved to different parts of Florida, he introduced me to John Everett, who introduced me to Adrian Arroyave, who's the pro at Everett Academy. So I was hitting there 3 times a week.
Wow.
So I leveled up because I was sort of a casual just hitting, but then, I'd look over and there's Matteo Berrettini on the next court.
Right.
And Adrian would be like, Matteo, come here, hit the ball with him. He's George Washington. Matteo was like, who is that? I thought George Washington was dead.
Right?
So I hit with him and Alia Tomljanovic and Vika, whoever we would see hanging around. Adrian at the end of my lesson would say, come on, we're going to just hit a few balls with them.
So what is that experience like? How was it receiving the balls coming off of a Berrettini or a Vika or Tomljanovic?
They were taking it easy on me, but it's the spin and the heaviness of the ball. Even when they take it easy, there's a heaviness to the ball. I always used to say, how is Lindsay Davenport even winning a set off anybody? But it's that clean ball that we can't see that on TV. When you guys are commentating or other sportscasters are commentating and you say that's a clean ball,
right.
Their level of clean, even on their echelon, even someone who might not hit as clean, is such a clean ball. And I think Lindsay probably hit one of the cleanest balls. I think she hit the center of her racket. Her percentage, if there was some way to find it, would be very high. So just the way the ball came off the racket and it's coming at you before you even, it's coming over the net before you figured out what they're doing. And that's even when they're taking it easy, and that's their timing.
Right.
But that's what I noticed. And I noticed that the ball felt heavy. I felt like I couldn't get my racket back in time to prepare, even though it didn't look like they were hitting it that hard. So that's what I noticed the most. It was heavy and spinning much more than what I was used to.
You know what's interesting about that? I was listening to an interview one time with Francis Tiafoe.
Yeah.
And he was mentioning the very first time he hit with Serena. Now, Tiafoe's a pro himself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the first time he hit with Serena, he never felt like he had hit that late consistently with somebody, in his life. Like every time he looked up, the ball was back on him, I believe that.
I think the mechanics of that is not just in how clean and how center you hit the ball, but if you watch Serena and don't watch the ball, she is finishing that stroke every time. And I think there's something about not feeling proud of yourself that you made good contact. She finishes the stroke, and I think there's just some more action on that ball. She believes and understands the mechanics of, her backhand when she hits it looks like she's about to punch herself in the face. She comes all the way through. And I think that makes that ball move. And when it hits the court, it jumps.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And I think it's all in that, It's all there. Yeah.
You see that in all the greats as well. When you look at Federer and you see him kind of hit his backhand, how far he's extending that arm.
Yeah.
It's amazing, man. So, yeah, you're exactly right. I think that little extra follow-through can add so much more kind of pace and push on that ball. It's so amazing, man.
And it's like a faith thing, because you can't see that. You got to believe in your coach when they tell you, finish that stroke, finish it. Come up over your shoulder. When you just want to be like, but I just hit. I'm watching my shot. Don't it look good?
I know, right?
I'm styling out.
I'm going to see it.
Right.
And so, Paul, talk to us just in regards to, as you were kind of learning tennis and you were, kind of playing with, this. I forget the kid's name that you were playing with.
Robbie Jeffries. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you go through any type of a junior circuit, or did you play like in high school, or did you do any of that, or did you even consider potential, being a potential professional tennis player?
I never considered that, but because I had hit with, like, Mrs. Jeffries was also a de facto scout. And because I had hit with her, and her son was the same year as me in school, and the kid next door was this kind of McEnroe lefty who was kind of chubby, but he could still mess with your head.
Right.
He had good touch. So in high school, I got recruited to be on the doubles team, because we were kind of a ghetto tennis team. The program was there. The program was there. We played, and there was an exchange student from Germany who hadn't come up through the ranks, so they weren't going to let him play singles, even though he should have been playing first singles. So they said, Paul, you play doubles with him. Man, I just stood there. He didn't need me. So I did play doubles, and we did win, but I should say he won, and but I learned a lot from watching him.
Hey, sometimes it be like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I learned a lot about a second serve. He was European, and his second serve was his motion, everything was just like the first, except for that wrist snap. And that's something, when you're younger, you pushing that second serve, man.
Right.
That's true.
You putting it up in, you Elena Dementieva with that second serve.
Elena Dementieva said, I got me a gold medal, though.
Right.
So get off me.
Hey, she so did.
She broke serve and all, right?
So listen, she had, to me, the gold medal. I'm sure that's her claim, that's her thing. But to me, it was a match that she lost, and that was Wimbledon against Serena, when she said, "You know what? I'm not letting this second serve be my downfall," and she just started going for it. And that was an incredible match. You know, Serena was supposed to win. Serena did win, but I loved, because see, everything else in her game opened up once she just let loose and hit that second serve.
That's true. Because the
Next
rest of
thing you know, she looked like a grass court player. You're like, wait a minute.
She's someone we always talk about when we have that conversation of kind of like greatest players to never have won a major.
Correct.
We always throw Dementieva in there on that.
Yeah, because her game was amazing. I mean, like I said, take away the serve, her ground strokes, everything about her game was really spot on. She was always in great condition. Yeah, Dementieva was my girl.
I was balanced, so balanced.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
She could move across that. She took your time away from you. Her lateral movement, just solid and grounded. And that backhand down the line was killer. And she was tough. You know?
She was. Well, since we're talking about players a little bit, I do want to ask you this question. So when you were coming up, you know, everybody has kind of their tennis idols, if you will. Who were the players that you followed? Give us a couple of the guys and a couple of the women. And then after that, who are the ones that you follow today? Who are the ones you really root for?
Back in the day, it was Pete and Andre, because that rivalry and that fire and ice was just so fun to watch. I felt like one day I want to play like Pete. Everybody's teaching us to play like Andre, because Pete's particular skills are difficult for younger people to emulate, but he was such a superhero out there. Of course, Malavia, just because, well, we know why.
Right.
I'm always betting on black. And I was kind of, you know, Malavia, I was like, what's going on in your head? I wonder, that was when I first got old enough to think, oh, I wonder what's going on behind the scenes in tennis. Why can't he excel? Like Shonda Rubin. Come on, Shonda.
Yeah. Now, I will say with Shonda, injuries, I think, really played a part with her. Correct. But Malavia, I kind of agree with you definitely much more on that one.
Well, and I think it goes to the mindset and the style, because Malavia was just kind of laid back and he was chill. You didn't really see that fire or fight like you would see in, like, again, like a Serena or something. They came out there like, look, y'all gonna get out our way.
Right. In fact, I don't even see you, so you don't even have to get out of my way, because when I look ahead, I don't see anything but the trophy.
Right? Exactly. Very well
Once in a while, I see Venus, but I'm gonna knock her out the way too. No, Venus got hers though. Venus got hers quick, because Venus saw what was coming.
Right? She was like, let me go and get up on her real quick.
Look, Venus got hers quick. She said, look, I don't even need 10. I'm gonna get 7 and I'm good. And now I'm gonna sell my fashion line for the next 20 years.
Right? Set it up. You're right.
Set it up.
So who were the women that you followed coming up?
Coming up, it was Zena.
All right, yeah.
I really, even more so than Zena, I liked Lori McNeil's game.
Yeah.
Lori had ice in her veins. And to this day, I can't figure out why she didn't win more, because she clearly wanted it. She was a jock. She understood the math and the angles of the court. You know, sometimes you're in an era, though, where there's Steffi Graf and Martina and Monica, and there's just, you know, you came up in a place where you're not going to get yours. You know?
Right.
So, but Lori McNeil was a real jock. I liked the way she walked around the court. You know, Steffi, I really enjoyed, and Monica, because I like people who are mean.
Yeah, Monica was mean.
I felt she was, at least she was mean to the ball, and she was dismissive of the other player. She didn't really even think about the other player.
Exactly.
And so maybe not mean, but she was dismissive.
Right. So who are those players for you in today's game that you root for?
I mean, obviously, you know, I want Rhea to get 24, but I'm one of those people that's like, if she's good with the truth, which is Margaret Court ain't got but 13 slams anyway.
Right.
That if Serena can, you know, handle that, she already has done it, but I think she wants Olympia to see her get one. So what I would love, that's another topic. Okay, so Serena, I still watch Venus. The queen is the queen. It's the queen, you know, Wakanda forever. If she wants to play, I'm rooting for Venus.
Right.
Now, you know I like Matteo Berrettini, but I wish somebody would threaten him or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
threaten his family or something. Make him care. You know, like something. What do you love? Okay, I'm going to take it away from you unless you play hard. Because with that serve and that forehand and that, you know, come on.
Yeah.
Tsitsipas, he just get rid of your dad.
Right.
Get rid of your dad. Your mom is sitting up there quiet. You know, I think she was a volleyball player or something, right? She's a Russian.
Okay.
She was something. She was something.
She was something.
Olympian something. Olga something. Anyway, she looked like she actually is, but she should be like the Oracene in his life.
Right.
You know, it's that pressure that his dad, I feel like she would sit there and be like, it's good. Let me be the meditative one. You go out there and be cold-blooded. Because he's not cold-blooded.
No.
Flipping and sliding out your shoes. This ain't figure skating. What are you doing? Put your shoes on. Like, it's just too much. It's too much, just too much going on. Too much going on.
So who's your guy out of the big three? Everybody's got who they won, right?
Well, it's wow. It's not Djokovic.
Right.
He's like, let's be clear.
Let's be clear. Although I'll get back to Djokovic. It's you know, Federer came first in the timeline, and so I was just like, wow, what a champion. And by that time I was hitting a one-handed backhand. So Federer to me has that grace and agility and timing on the ball and versatility, but ain't nobody like the bull. Rafa, if Rafa loses, something is wrong, but he'll never say what it is. You know, so I like Roger. Roger.
I like that.
That is awesome.
Because, you know, the head-to-head is you know, that's misleading because Rafa wasn't getting to those grass and hardcore finals. So Roger couldn't beat him more. And Roger was getting to those clay court finals because he's that versatile.
Right.
Just couldn't get over that hump. So to me, it's Roger. But
okay.
Now let's talk about Djokovic, though. As much as I feel some type of way about this, you know, Koronovic, Kovidovic.
I'm gonna have to steal that one from you.
He's going, but I feel like he's a rubber band, and he's going. If he can get there before Medvedev figures out that Medvedev is actually better than him, because Medvedev hasn't figured that out yet. But if he can get there, I think he might overtake them. You know, we'll see. We'll see how people train in the off season, because Djokovic always comes in hard at the Aussie Open.
Right, he does. Yeah. Right.
And you know he's trying to get that whole.
He wants it. He wants it. Right.
He wants that gold. He wants to get the sweep. I think he's gonna go for the sweep next year.
The Golden Slam.
And he's so mad because instead of 2019-17 right now? Mm-hmm. Or does Rafa have 20? Rafa has
2017.
Yeah.
I mean, Djokovic knows that if he would have done what he's supposed to do and took care of bust a move and stopped hitting assaulting lines people, then it would have been 18, 19, 20 going into the French. And then there's a little a score pressure on Rafa.
Right.
And then there's a little, he's also coming into the French with a win. With two, because he took the Australian Open, right?
Yep.
But you know what, Paul? To me, that's the story of Djokovic. He's always doing something that's distracting from what he can do on the court.
Yep.
Self-sabotaging.
Self-sabotage. That's it.
That's it right there, man.
Yeah.
So crazy.
I hate to admit it, but I'm also kind of getting into Rublev.
Oh, no. Don't be shamed. That's
why. Well, no, because he doesn't play my type of game, but I watch him now and I say, see, Paul, I just like it when someone is dismissive of the other. They're like, I'm here to win. I don't care nothing about you. I'm doing what I'm doing, and my forehand down the line is going to end this.
Right?
Right.
I'm telling you, man, do not sleep on Rublev, y'all.
Yeah,
Didn't was on the call today, but
well, sometimes Rafa will step up and say, "Let me just remind you of something. If I'm on this court, I'm on." Did you see Rafa stepped in on the second serve?
Yes, I did.
I was like, "Whoa!" Rafa's like, "I'm not here to just hang out." Yeah, that was a beautiful thing to see. Rafa he really took it to him.
Oh, that is hilarious. Well, Paul, let's take a quick break from tennis.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about the other side of your life, the rest of your background. Obviously, you have a very interesting background, and I'm just going to open it up and let you run with it.
Well, as you mentioned, I played George Washington in the first national tour of Hamilton, and theater and music has been a big part of my life. And now because of Hamilton, I have a production company, and I'm able to create short films and venture out into other things. And I've had a career in politics, working as a media logistics coordinator for the Obamas, and then for Bernie Sanders and Hillary, any of the big players in the Democratic Party. But it was the Obamas for the first 7.5 years. And I will say, I know you want me to stray away from tennis, but I was better at those things, especially being on stage in a big time, high pressure musical, because of tennis, which is unlike any other sport. You have to depend only on yourself. You play the ball, not the other person. There is no shot clock. So you ain't like, I did good, and I'm going to just wait this out until I win. You have to play to the last point. And it's the same when and in tennis, it's your practice. We can all tell who practices hard and who doesn't.
That's right.
That's
right.
Because under pressure, your strokes fall apart, or under pressure, you fall apart. And it's the same in theater. If you're not rehearsing and practicing and working on your vocals and doing it, then when it comes time for the show and the big note, who the first one is going to forget their lines? Who's the first one who's going to miss that note?
That's right.
So there's a real correlation between the two things, and I use one to help the other. I feed both back and forth.
That's amazing. Just that combination of athletics, politics, and the arts, right? I mean, when you talk well-rounded, I mean, you can't get much more well-rounded than that.
Right.
So how else has one of those disciplines helped the other? Maybe, between the three.
Well, I'll tell you this, it may not be a help that comes from the physical activity of doing it, but boy, have I found out that there's some closeted tennis players all over the world in different disciplines. Like, people love this game. If you don't have the time, it's hard to keep up with it on the pace that you two do, because you've made it a part of your lives and careers.
Right. Yep.
But everybody from all walks of my life, I have a dude in Hamilton with me who had never picked up a racket in his life. Now he called me every day. We playing today?
See?
Nice.
He's addicted.
He's addicted. Introduce. Yeah, I like that, brother.
People love to be introduced to this game, and so it has enhanced. My friend circle. That's one way they've all affected each other. I have found a way in to make a connection, especially in politics, because inevitably something comes up, and they're like, "Oh, you Martina Navratilova, huh? Oh, they'll make a reference, and then before you know it, we chopping it up all night over a particular match, even, or who's the next one who's going to step up and win a Grand Slam. So tennis opens a lot of doors.
Absolutely.
To meet people.
Tell me this: did the Obamas play tennis, or did you ever have an opportunity to chat tennis with them specifically?
Oh yeah. Now, Mr. Obama. Now you'll notice, because I work for them, I feel like somebody gonna come up behind me if I try to say them by their first names. Like, even to this day, I'll be by myself and I'll be like, Mrs. Obama, So Mr. Right. Obama, President Obama, he's definitely basketball and golf.
Okay.
And surfing, so it's not his thing. In fact, there was a rumor that the tennis courts at the White House, he had them kind of paved over and turned into basketball courts, and she was not too happy about that. Now, Mrs. O, she plays, and the oldest daughter, Malia, plays.
Oh, okay.
And she plays. So I didn't know how well she played, and then on one trip I was sent on. She was finishing camp or some summer camp that she was at or something, and I had to go arrange everything on the last day of camp. And Mrs. O was going to come on the last day and just kind of see how it was. And she got her out there on the tennis court, and I watched Malia smacking some backhands.
What?
And Mrs. O was standing out there like Oracene. There was no like goofing around like, oh, did you have fun this summer? She was like, step in. It was great.
That's right. Let's get it. You're gonna be out there doing it.
Right. I was like at a distance because I was supposed to, I was waiting and preparing when they were ready to leave to have everything ready to go. Or I think I was actually helping get Malia's bags and suitcases out of her dorm room to load them up. But I kept watching the court, and then when I was done, I was just watching from a distance, and they were getting at it.
What?
Malia was like, but this is my last day. I'm trying to say bye to my friends. And she's like, I'm trying to see where my money got spent. Hit this ball. It was great. But I think Mrs. O has an innate understanding of this game will make you a better, well-rounded person.
That's right.
That is an awesome story.
Right?
You know,
I love that story.
People only on Brothers on Tennis. You're going to get this.
Well, because here's the thing, guys, too. I don't know how much or how little Malia loved the game or what she was doing.
Okay.
But it was clear that her mother understood, you know, I'm not trying to make you a professional tennis player. I'm not trying to make you do whatever. But there's something I know that you may not really understand right now, because I know that Mrs. O plays. And so she was determined to, at the very least, get that hand-eye coordination, get her to have that feeling of success when you make that. Y'all know when you hit that ball, the way you meant to hit it.
Right.
It's like the dude in Hamilton, and he's become like my best friend. You know, he had never played before, and now, boy, when he hits a sweet spot or when he gets a ball past me or something, he gets all happy.
Excited,
the first time he sort of came over the ball and really understood. Oh, I see. Now he's older, so he's learning faster, like a matrix,
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I just think it was a beautiful moment of parenting more than anything.
Right. And Paul, have they ever been to one of the tournaments? Have they been to the U.S. Open, or has Michelle ever attended a Grand Slam
like a DC
event?
tournament?
Yeah, or DC tournament.
Oh, 2 times I was with Mrs. O. Once was at the 2010 U.S. Open, and she was in the Kids Day event. I'll try to. There's a picture of me bending down, trying to stay out of the shot where I'm right in front of her. But she made a speech at Kids Day in 2010. That's like when I met Sloan and Madison for the first time, and all of them. They were like 18, 19 years old. I met Jack Sock. I met all of them because you got to get them in line. Half of them didn't know what was going on. We were trying to keep it secret. So we did that event, and then I think she watched. She came back later in the week to watch a match in a suite. We hung out with Mary Jo and Billie Jean in the suite.
Nice.
And then she went to the Olympics at Wimbledon and watched Serena whoop up on Jelena Jankovic. So that was a short trip because that match was about 15 minutes. That was a bagel and a breadstick for those who may not remember.
Right?
You better remind them.
That was some strawberries and some cream. That was it. She knocked her. It wasn't even. Woof. Yeah, that was quick. I mean, that was Serena in 2012.
Right.
Yeah. She was doing it.
That's right. That's right.
Purple headband, purple wristbands.
That's right.
Cinched at the waist.
It
was over.
So Paul, we're gonna go to the next section, which is one of our favorite sections to do with guests, and it's what we call our rapid fire.
Okay.
And what's gonna happen is Isaac and I are gonna take turns, and we're gonna give you a name. It'll be someone from tennis. It could be a player. It could be a coach. It could be a commentator. And we just want you, what is your gut reaction? What are your thoughts? It can be about anything, their game, like, personality, anything.
One word, or just make my response?
No. We may even engage you in the conversation.
Okay.
So yeah, feel free to take it wherever you want to take it. So Isaac, I'll let you go first.
All right. So Paul, I'm gonna start off with a player. She was very, very active recently, not only social justice, but at that U.S. Open. What are your thoughts about Miss Naomi Osaka?
I call her Black Mamba.
Oh, yes.
Come on now.
I think she is, the older she gets, like, she wanted to emulate Serena's game. You could see that. But now she's coming into that I will not lose. I will make adjustments as the game goes on. I won't step onto the court unless I know I'm going to win this match. I think she will win upwards of 10 Grand Slams.
Yes. And you know what's interesting, Paul? I've stated this on a couple of other shows. I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel like 2021, Osaka is going to clown. I think she's going to win multiple Grand Slams this upcoming year.
Yeah. I see it, and I'm all about it.
Right.
Bryce, how about you, brother?
All right. So everybody has a very interesting opinion about this guy, and I'm very interested in hearing what yours is. And what do you think about Mr. Nicholas Kyrgios?
Red wine. I think he would do us all well to go hang out with Bernie Tomic and chill. It's a shame, and it's a shame. I don't want to say that because that level of talent. Okay, let me put it this way. This is all I'm gonna say about him. Imagine if he got himself in shape and closed his mouth.
Right. Exactly.
He would kind of be unbeatable.
Yeah.
Because there are many times when he's on the court where you can see that he's decided, oh, this point's over, I'm tired of it, and he will hit a shot that you can't believe. How do you have that timing? How do you don't even look that strong. How are you hitting at that level of pace? So imagine if he worked out and got his endurance level up and pulled the Agassi with Gil Reyes running up the hills with a backpack full of bricks for the winter in Nevada. Imagine what we would be treated to. And since I know he's not going to do that, I'm mad, and I just say, go drink another bottle of wine and leave me alone, because it's not fair. You know, people who have that kind of talent and you don't use it, people like us are like, get out of here.
Right. Exactly.
That's awesome.
I love that.
That's God-given. And yes, God-given, and you choosing to be like that. Okay.
Very nice. Very nice.
Isaac?
Paul, I'm going to switch it up on you. I'm going to go to the commentator. I'm going to go the commentator route on you.
Uh-oh.
Give us your thoughts about Mr. Jimmy Arias.
Well, oh, wow. I think he has a real chip on his shoulder because he's the forgotten American from that era. Yep, and so exactly. he likes to talk as if he won something. I'm like, but you ain't won nothing. The only reason you here is because everybody else is busy. Your claim to fame is getting your butt kicked by Jimmy Connors.
Right. Exactly.
Embarrassingly, at a time, you should have beat him. You're less than half his age, and just by sheer strength and energy, you should have won that match. So I don't think, and I don't like the way he talks about the women.
Right. I agree 100% there.
Yeah, especially because on a good day, even on a medium day, Serena could beat him.
Right. Oh my good, Paul, you are our people, because your thoughts are exactly what Isaac and I think all of the time. Exactly. I think we found another guest host.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't have to cancel if one of y'all is busy. I can just step in.
That is not a lie.
Right.
Like a guest host on The View.
There you go.
So I'm going to stick in kind of the commentary, we'll call it sports writer type zone. What are your thoughts on John Wertheim?
I knew you were going there. He thinks he's telling it like it is, but I think Martina does that a lot better. and a lot more straightforward. I think that his mailbag is great. When he's not actually speaking, when he's not actually speaking on television, he's great. He just doesn't have a TV magnetism. That's, he's kind of like a room temperature glass of water on TV.
I've told my mom the exact same thing. I said I loved his writing in Tennis Magazine and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't come through on
the TV.
On the TV.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, man. Like I said, we
well, you see the other sportscasters kind of clean it up, especially what's my boy, Strawberry Blonde. He won 2 French and 2 US Open.
Oh, Courier.
Yeah.
Courier's always kind of trying to, Wertheim will say something and Courier will say, yeah, also the other way to look at it is this.
Yeah, Jim is definitely doing this.
We are going to get Jim on this show.
Yes.
We like Jim.
Yes.
I love him. He's great.
Absolutely. So, all right, Paul, we're going to jump back into the player arena. Give us your thoughts on FAA, Felix Auger-Aliassime.
If they gave out 3 serves, he'd be doing great.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
If they let you have 3 serves, him and Coco will both be doing great.
Shade,
but true.
That's the truth.
He has great balance.
Yes.
He's faster than I think even he knows, because people like Hingis or even Federer to some extent, they seemed faster than they were because they would just be where the ball is. It's their anticipation. They're watching the ball, but they have that computer mind where they're watching that stance. They know this player well. They do their homework. They know what you're going to do. They know what position they put you in, so they know what your options are. If he can get that kind of tennis acuity and that kind of mental game, I don't know if he's smart enough. We haven't seen enough of him or heard him speak enough to know how he thinks of the game. Does he think of it like Tiafoe, where he's just running around, ripping his shirt off and going, yo, 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 or is he down there with the charts going, Raonic has a crazy good serve, but he always serves here when the score is this. Okay, I know what to expect. Is he doing that? Now, if he is, then he'll be even faster. He'll seem even, and if he can get that level of anticipation and speed, then he'll take a lot of pressure off himself. I think he can win a few slams. I think it's, for a lot of these players coming up, Casper Ruud, all that, you never know who's going to slip in and take a few, because this next crop of people is like, they're all like Nikolai Davydenko. They're all just like,
Yeah, they can slide up and get one. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I think FAA just made a good move with this coaching change. Yeah, so you can see he's starting to do some things that make a little sense in terms of growing in his career.
See, I don't think he's there just like you were saying about Francis. I think he's more than just being out in the court and being happy. He's going after some things, and I honestly feel like he will be a Grand Slam titleist for sure.
I think so. I think he'll get a couple. I think all the Canadians are pushing each other. I mean, they're pushing Milos out, but they're at least pushing each other.
right.
But everybody's getting pushed, but Milos is getting pushed the wrong way. But I think he missed his chance. He was having such a hot fall. He should have won that U.S. Open.
Milos got pushed to the dinner table. It looks like
he looked. He said, "Dang, you know me real well." Dang.
Right.
Yep.
So, Paul, for the very last one, we're going to do something special. All right.
Wait a minute. Before the last one, you mean Isaac's not going to make me talk about Rybakina?
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Because I'm trying to figure out when you're going to give up on that. She's the Dinara Safina of 2020.
I'm going to tell you what. Okay. Rybakina, listen, she was on fire earlier this year.
Yep.
To me, COVID messed her up.
Yeah.
And I think if you give her 2021, don't count her out just yet. Let's look at her 2021 and we're gonna talk about this at the end of 2021, Paul. We're gonna talk about it.
Rybakina, Safina, Hantukova, same difference.
See, Rybakina was drinking whatever that wine Gael Monfils was drinking during quarantine. Yeah.
She didn't get out on the courts enough, but I still am gonna hold. I'm gonna give her one more year to prove that she to be on the squad. If she might have to get cut though. She might
because she does because Muguruza, as I like to call her, ain't gonna have it. Like Muguruza ain't ready to be pushed away out the way by that girl because they got the same kind of build and the same kind of go for it with the kill shot.
I agree.
But Garbina will feed you some garbanzo beans in a minute.
Yes, she will.
And I don't know about Rabakina, but I'm gonna let you hold on to that, Isaac. You get one more year.
Give me one more year, Paul. Give me one more year.
That is awesome.
Be good.
Okay.
What's up?
Now, once again, Paul, for this next one, you have the opportunity to select people from the tennis community, whether it's players, coaches, commentators, media. We want you to name your fantasy, your ideal bid whist table. Who's your partner and who are you playing against?
Oh. Is it ATP and then WTA or?
It could be a mixture. And the assumption is that everybody knows how to play and their playing style is a part of their personality or whatever we know about them. So.
Oh, well, look, I'm playing with Serena.
All right. Okay. All right. That's the part.
Serena is me. Look, she's not going to. I'm playing with Serena. Now, who would I? So, do you want me to play against a good team or play against people I know we could beat?
Who do you want to beat?
Okay. Oh, I see.
Go.
I got you. I'm putting Zverev is going to play behind me. Because I'm getting in that ass. And let me see. I know y'all like him, but I want to beat Shapovalov.
Okay. That's all right.
Yeah.
But listen, not because I don't like him, but if you say who do I want to beat, I think that if he has the resilience, but right now too many people are pumping him up. I want to, because y'all know how big this is. I want to beat him and make him learn. Like, oh, okay, I gotta, okay.
Gotta go back.
Because I ain't even sure what happened to him at the end of this year. It's some little fake injury. What happened? Or did he mentally just go, you know what, I can't, which is fine. He's 20 years old, 21, whatever. But I think he's one who could come through and win several Grand Slams. He could take the mantle.
Yeah, he really could.
He really could. But it's that mental game. So I'd want to beat him up at the bid whist table a little bit. Yeah.
So Paul, I'm gonna give you mine.
Okay.
So my partner, without a doubt, would be Richard Williams.
All right.
He gonna bring that old school trash talking, pushing your bid.
Yeah.
Richard Williams would absolutely be my partner.
Love it.
And who we would be playing against is, in front of me would be Jimmy Connors.
Oh yes.
And playing behind me would be Tennis Sanders.
Yo, yes. Get him.
And I would be driving them to Boston all day, every day.
Look, I'd be happy to drop them off in Philadelphia. I don't care if it's 6. You up. Get up.
And for our listeners that don't know bid whist and don't know what we're talking about, there is your homework.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like if you play junior tennis, it's like the spades of, bid whist is the pros and spades is junior tennis.
Right, exactly.
But see, now that you brought that up, I'm trying to be like, I want to play with Venus or Yvonne Lindell because I'm the shit talker. I'm the shit talker, so I'd want to play with that cool customer partner who sits there quietly, but they got everything I need. They just let me bid, and they know they got me.
Right.
Like Venus is the best doubles partner to have.
Yes,
absolutely.
And Yvonne
apparently
Lindell,
Rajiv Ram is not. Apparently Rajiv Ram is not.
Oh, right.
Apparently.
Right.
Because how's Jack Sock gonna win that thing with Bethany Nesox, whatever her name is, Bethany Madison? Although she's a bad customer.
She's no joke.
Yeah,
likes me
right.
But
Venus was the best player on that court that day.
That's right.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
Absolutely. Don't get it twisted.
And
I
Rajiv couldn't handle. He couldn't execute. He felt the pressure because he's actually got great hands.
Yeah. See, Bryce doesn't believe me in that. He always be looking at me sideways when I give him a little bit of credit.
Because he wins when it don't matter.
Well, and that's
right.
That's the problem, though. He plays well, but when it pressure time comes, he folds, and that's what he definitely did in that Olympics gold medal match. Because Venus played some great tennis, but so the ladies were on point.
Yeah.
The ladies were on point, and Jack did what Jack does. Yeah. Anyway,
his serve was useful. Jack's serve was useful, but Rajiv didn't have that weapon.
Right.
To be useful. I'm really looking for Asia Muhammad to find the right partner. I like Jesse Pegula. I think they match up well because Mama Townsend apparently decided that
you wrong for that.
Mama Townsend has apparently decided that she's trying to be like Serena, but she's missing 23 Grand Slams. And 13 in doubles or whatever that she got.
14, right?
Like, I was thinking about Serena and those other mothers. What you thinking about? That ain't your life. You're gonna be using the EBT card for them diapers. You don't have nothing.
Paul, you wrong.
Oh my goodness. I don't know that I've ever laughed this much in an interview in my entire life. Paul,
life choices, y'all. Life choices.
I am loving you, my brother. Loving you. Paul, let's think about 2021. Hopefully we're going to have a full season. It will still be, of course, very, COVID-based, so there may not be any fans on the tournaments. Right. It looks as though they're going to hold them. So what I want you to do is kind of give us your prediction on 2021. Who do you think is going to style out? Who do you think going to fizzle out? Who do you think is going to capture some Grand Slams or a Grand Slam? And the Olympics, of course. Who do you think is going to get up in the Olympics and get that gold, man?
Well, you know who I think is going to really show out because their big coming out year happened during COVID. So I think they have been playing with this sense of the crowd is not a factor. And I think for any player where the crowd wasn't a factor before, it's a good thing anyway. I think, and congratulations to this player who just won their first tournament, Yannick Sinner. Watch out.
Yeah. I agree.
Because he only has upside because he's not in great shape.
True.
Yeah. Because
he's in great shape, but he's not strong. He hasn't had that moment. You know all these male players, they have that moment where they come back from the off season and you're like, dang! He hasn't had that yet. So when he has that and that forehand is working and that first serve hits hard, but it also dips and hits halfway to the service. I don't know, how does he get that angle? Right. Man. So I think watch out for him, and he's good on all surfaces.
Yes, he is.
All the Italians, I think the Italians as a sort of playing block might do well at the Olympics. I think they're all pushing each other. I know some of them are like, you ain't really going to do that. And you just had a good year. But one or two of them, like that Lorenzo dude, he has fire in his blood.
Yeah.
Yep. Agree.
And so anything can happen with him. I think Medvedev I'm looking at him for the Olympics.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Okay.
Something about that format, something about not having the pressure of a Grand Slam, and he's really just going to swing freely. And
something that people don't think about, remember the Russians that are playing independent because Russia can't play in the Olympics.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So they're playing as independents.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Wait.
Yeah. Okay, so that lifts up my prediction. I don't know if I predict this, but I hope and pray to my altar that Zverev loses every match next season.
I'm right there with you.
And I think sadly Wawrinka might be on his curtain call. We'll see because he got back in shape. But one thing about Stan was his mental power, and the fact that he mentally left a few times. One of the most famous things besides his backhand is when he makes that great point under pressure and points to his head.
Yeah.
He really thinks out there. And I feel like maybe he's tired,
Right. Right.
I would look for Borna Chorich to shore up some of the good strides he made and see if he can pull a little Chrissy Everett, because that's all he does is push both sides. But he's out there.
That's right.
You know, he stopped hitting that forehand long, so if he can stay in there long enough, he's in great shape and he can wear people down. The Americans ain't doing nothing.
What you mean? You mean none of them?
I can't. None of the men.
Right.
I think that did Coco? Is she at Moritoglu? Is she at the academy? Is that where she's training?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know that they mentioned that. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm not sure where she's at.
Because they might have opened a new academy called Second Serves Are Us. She needs to go there.
Yeah. Wouldn't disagree with you on that, brother.
She needs to go to Second Serves Are Us. Because once she does that, she's golden.
Yes.
I think Vika will continue this little streak she was on. Because it feels good to her now. And she ain't got she got her problems worked out with the kid, and she feels like she's having a second career. I'm interested in what Ash Barty will do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you kind of forget about her.
Kind of forget because she ain't
right.
That's right.
But frankly, I think that you guys are right that it's Osaka's year to have. Maybe Bianca's going to surprise us because I saw her looking pretty in shape and hitting the ball again. So we'll see. But players like Sabalenka, they gonna fall away. They ain't gonna do nothing.
How you gonna bust on Sabalenka like that, Paul?
I mean, she's like, I want to see what Iga's gonna do. I think she could actually.
Yeah.
I think she could follow it up well. We'll see.
Yeah. Yes.
Is Osaka gonna show up at the Olympics?
Yeah.
Does Roger have one more in him?
Yeah. One more Grand Slam or one more Olympics?
Grand Slam.
Yeah, because unless he runs into like a red hot Rublev, too many of these players are still nervous. They don't have the ice in their veins. They don't have the, Rublev though, watch out. He don't care. Today, that's why I was so surprised today. As long as Roger and Rafa got a racket in their hand, the rest of y'all can just sit down.
Right.
Look, what surprises have we had? Who done snuck through? And look what happened with Marian Cilic snuck through, and look what happened. What is his rank? 50-something? He out there, on his break between matches, he's working in the commissary serving food. He ain't making no money. It's actually some of these like Casper Ruuds or Christian Garins, those type that could sort of get it together and have a special run. They're not going to sit at the top like Rublev or Medvedev or Tsitsipas might. But those clowns aren't really, I'm thinking it's those Casper Ruud or Borna Chorich. One of them is the one's going to sneak up and have the run of their life. Because people like Tsitsipas, they're head cases.
Right. Yeah. Is Andy Murray done?
Yeah. Which makes me sad.
Yeah, same here, Paul. I'm a fan of Andy.
I like his game and I like his citizenship and I like how he, he raised by a great mom who kept it front of his head. The women are equal, and he has been a great spokesperson for that. So I will miss that, and I don't see that spot being filled by the Djokovic, Vasek Pospisil. We finna start our own league, and we ain't even going.
Right.
Like, what are y'all clowns doing?
Right.
What's the problem here? You play a sport, you make a lot of money. What's the problem here that you have to go and do that? Is nerve and all them types. Like, get out of here.
That is awesome. Well, Paul, this, like Isaac said, I don't think we have ever laughed this much in an interview before. And you think we playing? Let me be out of town or something, and I can't record.
Call me up. Because we didn't even talk about Mukova, who's my dark horse next year.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
I like that transition game. I like her tennis IQ. I think she's got to get tougher.
Yeah.
Even though it was first round and Venus is on the waning days, that victory over Venus in the U.S. Open, just kind of, you could see her say, huh. And I think her hamstring acted up the rest of the way. But see, to me, some of those injuries happen when you're nervous, muscles tighten. Some of them injuries, people come out wrapped up looking like they in a war. I'm like, you are nervous. So you're cramping before you even came on the court.
Oh, you do make me think of something. So is 2021 it for Venus Williams?
Only if she wants it to be, because my goodness, she trying to be what's that Japanese player who came back?
Oh, Kamiko Date.
Kamiko Date.
She trying to be Kamiko Date without the break. And I am mad. If she had a trickier game, she could stay. But her game is so similar to what she's created these girls. She's given birth to these girls. So I don't know that she can hang out there. But hey, if Venus, in my dreams, her and Serena are talking right now, saying, let's get in the gym and come out in January and smoke these girls.
Right.
Because they are still Black women. And if they put that time in the gym hardcore, they look, it wouldn't even be a thing.
I agree with you.
It'd be so intimidating. They come out looking like Maria Sakkari. Everybody like,
I know, right?
I'm looking at Ange Jabeur. If she got in shape,
wow. Yeah, she's kind of like got that Roger Federer type game,
Yeah. Angelique Kerber out. Jim Brady. Jim Brady could do something.
I think so. Bryce wants her to prove a little bit more.
She's been like, she'll do really well in the tournament, then she loses in the first round. And she does really well in the first round. I need to see her compete a little more consistently across the top players. Yeah. And it's hard to judge that this year, because everything's been so crazy. So next year, if she really has just a solid year, I'll jump on the bandwagon. But, I'm not buying no Jen Brady t-shirt shit.
No. Right now, she's like the Kiki Burton's kind of vibe,
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what about Danielle Collins, y'all? Karen, as I like to call her.
You know what? No, I don't know why, Paul, but Danielle Collins, I like Danielle Collins.
Because I know you do.
She's crazy, and I like crazy. For whatever reason, there's just something special to me about the crazy ones, and Danielle Collins is right up in there with me. So, will she have a great year next year? I don't think that she will. I mean, I think that she will continue doing what she's doing, which is be right around the top 20, kind of stay right there. She's going to make trouble for the top players because, like I said, she likes a fight, and she's crazy. Right. So when she comes up with
she'll have a great result. Exactly. Yeah, she'll have some awesome result.
And Paul, I would think you would like her because isn't she very dismissive of the ball?
Yes, she is.
but she, like you said, she's crazy too. She'd be yelling up at her boyfriend, "Get out the seat! Get out the stadium! Get out the stadium!" Like,
get out!
What you doing? Stay focused. If you take that energy and focus, you went down 6-love to Sophia Crazy. Kennen.
She's out there creeping out of the daggone world team tennis bubble.
Right? Come on now. You and Sophia Kennen are just the same level of crazy that I can't.
What? You don't believe Sophia Kennen is the savior of American tennis like everybody else?
Oh my.
Sophia Kennen can't even keep her skirt up. She keeps pulling it up over her belly, but like, what are you doing? Buy something that fits. It's not that hard. You can't even get dressed. So, man, I'm not feeling her. I'm trying to figure out who that American is that's going to, y'all are right. Jen Brady needs to solidify herself in that top echelon and have consistent quarterfinal results.
Right.
And let's not forget Simona Halep ain't nobody's fool. So she's
That's true.
Don't trip. Don't sleep on Simone.
She's in her prime. She ain't going anywhere anytime soon. And she's got 2 or 3 Grand Slams. 2?
2, right. And your girl Pliskova, to pull from your play, she missed her shot.
Bye, Pliskova.
Yeah.
At this point, I can't even tell Carolina from Christina. It don't even matter. I don't, bye. You didn't make it. You didn't make it. She knows. She walks out there with the racket in her left hand, hoping people think she's her sister. See? That's over. That's over. That's because ain't nobody scared of her now.
No, they're not.
Right. You're right.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So, well, look, we're going to wrap this up because we will be here for 2 hours going through this. And I know our listeners are in stitches right now. But Paul, we can't thank you enough for coming on, and actually we're gonna make plans for the next time that you come on, because we're just gonna call this part 1.
Yes.
I would love that. You know what I would love? Just give me one day, like during the Grand Slams, if it's like the midweek check-in, or I would love to talk to you guys during a Grand Slam, because that's the fun part.
We're gonna make that happen.
We will definitely.
We are gonna absolutely make that happen. Our producer's on, so he hears it. Chet, make it happen.
Thanks, Chet.
So, to our listeners, we really hope that you've enjoyed this episode today. I mean, obviously, Isaac and I have had a blast, and we're gonna continue to bring you new and exciting interviews, because tennis is over basically after this week. So we won't have anything live to talk about until the start of the year again. But Isaac, any final words you have for today?
No. Just the listeners, we just thank you as always. Appreciate you listening, and just hope that you've enjoyed the, I guess, condensed 2020 calendar year. And let's get hyped for 2021, because we're going to be bringing it to you on Brothers on Tennis. So definitely stay tuned. How about you, Bryce?
Yes, and next week we'll be back to talk about the results from the year-ending championships. So hopefully somebody other than Zverev or Djokovic wins, and we'll be very excited to talk about that. So once again, thank you to Mr. Paul Stovall, and this has been your boy Bryce.
And this is your boy Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. Everyone take care, and we'll talk to you next week.